When I was unemployed, I had true freedom. I have never felt more free. Like you get so creative when you have nothing to fall back on. Ideas come naturally because you have no safety net anymore. There's no more bi-weekly check. And when you have a job, you don't realize it, but it kills your creativity way more than you think. That comfort, that comfort gets rid of the fear of having to do something. Because oh, next 2 weeks I'll see that check. I'll see that next check in 2 weeks. It doesn't really matter that much. A job gives you stability and it can trap your potential in so many ways. You see it all the time. You see people stuck at a job they hate, but they feel like they have to stay there. They feel like they have to stay there because they moved up to a assistant manager position. You feel stuck when you're in a higher position instead of like a general employee. When you move up, you start to get more stuck because it is harder to quit. It is harder to quit when you're a fucking regional. It is. It traps your potential because you get less time to yourself. And it traps your potential because you're stuck working at this job. And there ain't nothing wrong with having a job, but I know there's a meme about it. Oh, job application, job application. There is a fear in having a job, especially for most of Gen Z. There is a fear of it because you'll get stuck. When you're unemployed, you're on your own time. Matter of fact, 2 years ago when I was unemployed, I started my YouTube channel. I started making videos when I had no job. I had no choice. I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do with no job? I had no choice but to make something. And since then, I've been making YouTube videos. It's like being on the shrooms trip, staring at the mirror every day. Like you see who you really are. You see who you are when you're under pressure. You see if you fold or if you make something of it. If you make something of it. It's like you don't have a boss. You don't have a schedule. It's not really validation because you're frowned upon because you have no job and you're 20. It's just you. It's literally you and your brain and God. That's it. Because let's say you have a girlfriend, you have a job, you get fired, she's most likely leaving you because she's with you for stability, security. And when you don't have that security, you lose your safety net, you can lose your girl, whatever. I am not trying to have a job much longer. As corny as that sounds. I've been developing a personal brand and I didn't even realize it. I'm building a personal brand now. I'm expressing all my opinions in the most creative way I can think of. I don't have a product yet. I'm not trying to monetize anyone. I'm just trying to give people a different perspective of the world by providing my glasses to them. They're putting on my glasses because they're seeing the world through my perspective. And you might disagree with it, but it's me. It's what I think. It's how I feel. That's why I'm sharing it. And that's the underrated part of the internet. There's this, I want to say this. There's this need for authenticity, especially with the rise of AI. People need to see humans. People want to see your editing mistakes. People want to see something that's wrong with you. Because when something's wrong with you, you're more human. People don't like the, what's up guys? Shit, it's disingenuous. It's not honest at all. That's why building a personal brand is the meta right now. It's the meta. You get paid to be on your own time. You can make money abroad. Like when you have a job, you have to stack up those PTO hours to go on that vacation for 5 days. But what about paid time on? You're making money not on PTO, but you're making money because your business is still running while you're traveling. This is why people who are their own boss are always traveling and their bank account barely goes down because their employees are working while they're in fucking Cancun. You're posting, for people who have like online businesses, you're posting TikToks while you're in Switzerland. That's dope. That's true freedom. It frees your mind, it frees your time, it frees your money. And everybody memes about this unemployment. But everybody wants that freedom. And I think that's where those jokes come from. There's truth in every joke, and I think everybody truly wants that freedom of being unemployed. And it's not like you're being lazy because you're unemployed. Because people, like, let's say you have a TikTok account and people will comment, jobs, bros, jobs. Most people will not understand that trying to make it requires not having a job. Most actors did it without a job. They got the job they have now through not having a job. Does that make any sense? When I was unemployed, I was probably my strongest, probably my most creative, because I was building myself. I had no time to waste. It hurts way more. It hurts you way more when you're scrolling on Instagram or YouTube or whatever when you're unemployed. It hurts 10 times more. You feel it 10 times more. That like instant regret, like, oh fuck, I've been scrolling for 40 minutes. That shit hits you way harder when you have your own time, when you're unemployed. That's when the real hunger starts. You have no choice. You have no choice but to make money. You got to do it somehow. You got to rent out a dumpster trailer. You have to DoorDash. You have no choice. You have no choice. I remember like being unemployed. I was like, fuck, I need to do something. So I bought like a pallet of knives. I bought this pallet of knives for like $1,500. I had like $2,000 in the bank. And I was like, fuck it. I have no choice. I didn't have bills at the time. I bought this giant pallet of, I might have one in here. I don't know. But I bought this giant pallet of knives. I had an eBay account. This was like week 1 of my YouTube channel. Fucking hate this fucking mic, bro. There, that's better. I got this giant pallet and I went on a family trip, but the night before I listed like half of the knives. I stayed up, I was like, fuck it, I'll just sleep on the way. I listed half of those knives I had in that giant pallet, and I posted them, I listed them on eBay. I was taking pictures of them all night, putting the prices and whatever. And that weekend, not even being home, because like I said, I was on a family trip 6 hours away from this room. I made $1,000 in one weekend making money online with no fucking job. That's when that hunger started. When I saw $1,000 in balance on my like current balance on my eBay account, that shit opens your eyes on a whole nother level. It's ridiculous. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real. And keep in mind, that was half of the knives. That was half of the knives. And I listed them all because I had no choice. How the fuck was I gonna make money if there was no bi-weekly check? There wasn't. I got rid of my safety net and I had to build my own. And I know the title of the video is Chasing Unemployment, but really it's just chasing ownership of my own life. I do not want to work for a corporation. I don't want to be told that I have to take my lunch at a certain time. I don't want to be told that I have to come into work at a certain time. And then, because I'll get a write-up. I don't want to. I don't. When you're on your own time, you truly, truly own your life. You get rid of those chains that have the company you work for's logo all over it. If you work for fucking McDonald's and you quit your job, those shackles with that M on it are snapped off. You're free. One of these days, well, I will say this to not be like, oh, all motivationally, whatever. I will say that if you have a job and you feel like you want to do something different, build a personal brand, start a clothing brand, fucking make TikToks, fucking start trading on crypto, and you currently have a job, build capital, build your safety net and set yourself up for the future. Because me personally, that's what I'm doing. The only reason I have a job is so that I can have an X amount of money for that when I do dip, I have something to fall back on. It'll keep me afloat for 6 months. 6 months with every day available to me? You can do a lot of fucking things in those 6 months. Those 40 hours a week, 40 hours a week, a work week are gone. It's 168 hours a week to you. That's not including sleep. I will say that. If you do want to do something, take that risk, because at the end of the day, we all fucking die. And you're telling me starting a clothing brand is scary, even though because you're unemployed and you have $20,000 in the bank and you're afraid to start a business. Just try it. Just try it. The life experience you'll get is way more valuable. You learn way more being in the field than looking at it. Man, I keep getting these ideas. I'll say this too. When I was going to college, I was going for business administration, probably one of the most useless degrees. The guy who was teaching my class didn't have a business, obviously. He had a degree teaching us how to run a business. I hated that. It didn't make sense. A guy who ran a failed business, of course he has the experience, is teaching me how to manage a business. I learned more listing those knives on eBay, on profit margins, knowing where to get my inventory, where to get my supply from. I learned more that fucking weekend selling those knives than in that 8 months that I was in that class. School is never for me. I know people say you need a compound interest, whatever. You'll have $2 million by the time you're 60. Honestly, I don't think I'll live that long. Fucking might as well try to get rich young. I don't think I'll live to like 70. Imagine like compound interesting your whole life, 9 to 5ing away, and then you die. You never get a taste of those $2 million that are in your investments, and you have no kids to distribute it to. Who do you think it goes back to? Fuck that. Build a personal brand. If you want to do something different as far as business-wise, and you're unemployed, stack up your bread, then take a bet on yourself. That's the only advice I'm going to give. That's all I got.